Well, welcome back as we continue to watch the developing situation of a massive fire, even a bit of an explosion in St. Catharines. We happen to have Mayor Mat Siscoe from St. Catharines on the show this morning, so thanks for coming in still.
Yeah, glad to be here.
What do we know about the situation?
At this point, emergency services, I actually just got off the phone with the fire chief. He said everybody who needs to be evacuated has been contacted. The fire department's on site right now. They're obviously trying to battle the blaze and knock the fire down. In addition, though, we've got city staff and regional staff working to make sure on the environmental contamination side of things that we're doing the best we can to make sure. Obviously, it's a chemical fire, trying to make sure that doesn't get into the environment because it is right next to the Seaway and Lake Ontario. We want to try and minimize that.
Yeah, give us a lay of the land for anybody that isn't familiar with St. Catharines and where this is in the city.
So this is in a very sort of isolated pocket of the city. Most of the city is to the west of the St. Lawrence Seaway and the canal system. This pocket, Port Weller East, is up on the east side. And so it's isolated from the city, very close to the water, and that's the concern. But the fire department was on scene very quickly. I know a number of residents, as I was driving in today, were sending me videos of the explosions. There have been some explosions, but like I said, our fire department's on site. It seems to be starting to calm down now. Fire services were there very quickly and able to knock it down. But like I said, one of the concerns is the environmental piece, and so we've got our city and regional staff working on that.
Because you said isolated. Is there many people that do live around there?
It's not a large neighborhood, but there is a residential component to the north of it, and so one of the first priorities for our staff was to contact everybody and get them evacuated to the Kiwanis Aquatic Center, which is where they are right now, and city staff are taking care of them.
Injuries?
Only one that I know of, transported to hospital with burns, but we don't have any more information at this point.
Okay, so Emily Taylor, as we've been mentioning, is on her way to St. Catharines. Is going to be keeping us up to date on the situation. We appreciate you being here, Mayor. So bus amalgamations, if we move on to other topics, and this is a big topic in the city too.
Yeah, bus amalgamation has been huge. Me personally, I've been working on this now for 4 years, but in the region we've been trying to work on it for 20. We finally got there on January 1st, stitching the different municipal transit systems together into one. This has been massive, and you know, it's one of those situations where you have anti-poverty activists, but you've got the Chamber of Commerce coming and all advocating on the same side. So we're finally moving this forward, and I have to give credit to Carla Stout and her team. They've made it seamless.
What was it before and what is it now?
So before we had a St. Catharines Transit, a Niagara Falls Transit, we had a Welland Transit, we had smaller companies in and around the different areas, and then we tried to stitch them together with sort of a hodgepodge of routes to make the system, you know, try and work together, but it didn't work for residents. There were different fares in different areas. None of the service standards were the same. So we've spent the last couple of years working to put it together and create one new Niagara Region Transit system, which is now in existence, like I said, as of January 1. So with residents, what they're seeing now is everything is a little bit easier, a little bit more seamless. All the routes are still where they expect them to be, but they fit together within the bigger system much better.
Because when this is a massive project, when there's always going to be bumps along the road, no pun intended there. We're a couple weeks in, are we seeing that?
There are obviously the growing pains that always happen, but for the most part, the reception has been really positive from the community. And I know our general manager, Carla, she was out riding the buses the last week and a half, making sure that things worked the way they expected them to, talking to residents. And the biggest compliment we can get is, I didn't notice any changes on my local bus. We want people to feel comfortable that the system is still the system they understand, but it fits together and will allow people to get from, if you've got an apartment in St. Catharines, but you work at the casino in Niagara Falls, that's a lot easier now to get to work and get home. And we want to make it easier to get around the region. But the system's only as good as the money that gets put in, and you know, there's been a lot of safe restart money. We need the provincial government now to step forward and help us build out this amalgamated system the way they've helped in the transit systems across the province.
And what's the response been from them?
We've gotten good conversations, but you know, the Minister of Transportation, Minister Mulrooney, is now sitting with an ask from us for $13 million, and we're going to keep having that conversation because we need to see those funds to help build out the system.
Okay. We have a bunch of other stuff. We're running out of time though. So I know the main situation that kind of was sprung upon us this morning is the fire situation in St. Catharines, and Emily Taylor is on their way there. So we thank you for the updates on that, and all the best in St. Catharines, and we'll have you back to chat more about St. Catharines and what's going on in the city and the region.
Excellent. Thanks, Tim.
Thanks. Mayor Mat Siscoe from St. Catharines.